Hi all. Okay, it's been a while. Been trying to nail the last of those jobs that you just keep avoiding. One of them was the charge cooling pipes, and this is our reservoir and our swirl pot all in one for the charge cooling pipes. This was a job that I really there is no room. Literally, there is no room for this damn thing, and it was bugging me how I was going to get it done. Did eventually come up with an answer. Now I can just take the pot off, and I'll show you what I've had to do to basically fit the two return lines to the swirl pot. I'm going to try and hold this. Okay, there we go. Pull the pot off, and let's put it down. Hang on, excuse me for a second. There you go. Okay, right. So we needed a water return, 2 3/4 inch water returns from the 2 charge coolers to the swirl pot, and then we need a 1 inch return. Bent as an aluminium pipe from the bottom of this, which makes it nice and simple. So there's a 1 inch return that comes down. You can just see it on the bulkhead here. There's the pipe that returns and goes back into the top of our high booster radiator. But what we do need is 2 pipes that come out of the intercoolers and fit and go up into the swirl pot. So what I came up with, which is about the only thing that made any sense, 3D printed in plastic for the moment, just to prototype the idea. We basically have this piece here, which I literally just finished CNC machining. If you can see that piece there. So I put threaded unions in here, and I turned up some threaded unions, excuse me, hand anyway, threaded unions, and I fitted them and welded them to the tanks. Finished welding them today. Just wanted to get this piece done, and now we've just got 2 straight pipes. So just for ease of assembly, should we say, this piece here gets in the way, but we can take that off until it's in. All 3 pipes, basically the tank can just vertically mount down into those 3 pipes, and then I'll put the securing mount onto it. Yes, it'll be interesting doing up, that clamp's not too bad. These 2 clamps here, or the pipe clamps, are going to be interesting because I'm going to have to come in from the side to get to them. This one I can get down through the V here, but the top 2 are going to be interesting. But yes, it's doable. I can actually reach them. So there'll be just a long extension. I'll have to come from the sides. But we finally have a route. Now this piece here I've now got to weld to the tank. Excuse me. So I'll have to cut a slot in here. What I'm going to do is basically not completely remove it. I'll cut it on 3 sides, not this side, and I'll push it in so it'll be like a flap. So it'll also help with trying to redirect the water, so it basically comes in and goes round, so it goes in, and that flap will basically make it curl. So less aeration in the pot by doing that. That's that side. The feed side, so the feed side to the charge coolers, which can be, basically anywhere, top, bottom, middle. You're not having to worry about removing air from them. So I'll just keep the original 2 side mounts. Those we've got to go from a 1 inch pump. We've got our Missouri 1 inch pump here with a 1 inch out feed. That one also a little bit more interesting. Here we go. We have a 3D printed piece. This is just ASA, but I'm going to print it in nylon 6. To try and make these ends strong enough, I didn't want to print these ends in plastic because I wanted to have the minimum thickness here, and so still get the largest bore I can. So I've kept the stainless steel fittings, makes it very simple. This side is actually, excuse my French, pull that out. There you go. This side's 1 inch, so I can put a reasonably thick bore in it. So we're going to have a 3D printed piece basically to split that 1 inch hose from the pump into 2 3/4 pipes and then feed either side of the intercoolers. So yes, that's the one job, should we say, that's been, I don't know, bugging me, trying to get the whole thing to fit, because there's just no room. But I'm happy now. I've got a plan. The intercoolers are welded. We pressure tested them today. We pressure tested the water side. It's probably the more important side, because I don't want water obviously getting into the induction of the engine. So we pressure tested the water side to 40 psi, and I submerged the intercoolers completely in water, and I had no water bubbling out anywhere other than the fitting that wasn't done up particularly well. So the intercoolers are pressurized. You know, no idea how big a chunk of work has just been completed with that. It's just so happy that's out the way. Still have another leak, annoyingly, at the water swirl pot for the engine, so that's still on the bench. I've still got to do a little bit more welding on that. Seems the thinner stuff with the thicker weld, and when you use the welding that, where you use the 3.5 millimeter rod, I don't seem to have any problem with air leaks at all. On the smaller stuff, use the smaller rod. It seems very easy to be able to get a path through air and get the damn thing to leak. So, which is a pain. But the radiator says already pressure tested. We pressure tested the pipes down the side, because we had to add extra pipes to those for the heater system and for the thermostat return. Now the intercoolers are pressure tested. I think, I've got, once I've finished this swirl pot for the charge coolers, I will pressure test that as well. But like the coolant system, it only needs to be pressure tested to really 20 psi, because anything more than that, then, you know, the radiator cap's gonna vent off. So, but I did pressure test the charge coolers to 40 psi, just to make sure that I wasn't going to have any water leaks into the engine side or onto the air side. So yes, big step. Can't remember if I've been to the show and I've mentioned about the wheels, but the wheels do look, yeah. Yes, anyway, that's me. We put the side windows in. I still have to do the dead bands on the inside of the window and tidy up the windows, but we are also going to redo the insides, because they're not completely finished. And then we're going to take a mold of the inside of the door, so we can make some carbon inner skins. And with these were added to these doors, so basically I'm going to redo the mold for the doors and the inner and outer skin. But they can be done at any time. It's not really a big rush at the moment. Yes, so it's back to electrical testing, hopefully in 4 or 5 days time, and we should be back to the CAN bus programming. I have picked myself up a little thing as a tiny little spot welder, which can spot weld stainless steel stuff, and very nice guy on YouTube, as is normally the case, showed us how to weld that shielding. So we have 10 sheets of this stainless steel embossed shielding. I think it's about 10 thou thick, and then we have a bunch of silica grade, like good for like 1400 degrees centigrade insulation. So we are going to wrap parts of the exhaust that are just too close to stuff that we can't get too hot. So where the headers and the primaries go quite low into the engine bay, as much as we have airflow from the sides, I really need to make sure that isn't going to cook the alternator, cook the AC compressor. And obviously on this side we have a lot of plumbing for the main engine oil system, so we have a lot of stuff around here. So really just to make sure, we've obviously ceramic coated everything, including the turbos. We've got blankets for the turbos, but as far as everything else around there, I just need to make sure that we're not going to get too warm or too hot. So I think the last time we started doing all the plumbing for the blow-off valves, and so unfortunately, as I was then of now know, I needed twin boost solenoids. it was better to run two, and they're not particularly expensive. So we've done all the piping for the boost solenoids from the wastegates. They're all done. They're a bit loose at the moment because obviously we've been pulling that out, but basically all of our plumbing's done for there, and we did the electrical extension for making the boost solenoid on the right connect to both on the left. So it's actually only the one output that controls both. I do have two pressure senders, for high-speed pressure senders, either side of the intake, obviously for the throttle mass flow system. So I can measure if one side's boost, one side's not controlling as good as the other. I can run up both. So they are, once they go into the plenum, obviously it's all into one, so it shouldn't make any difference to the engine, but it'd be nice to see those both those boost solenoids are performing together. So yes, car's always coming apart and back together again, but we are pretty close now. The show was fun. It has we now have a sponsor, it looks like, for paint. So we might not be vinyl wrapping it yet. A company in Germany was quite keen to partner up with us to basically supply us all the paint materials we need, or at least the main top coat. We have yet to finalise the deal, but effectively they started the ball rolling and contacting me, so which is great. So we might end up painting the car, and then we'll just put some 3M PPF in places where we know we're going to get damage, behind the wheel arches being the primary one. So yes, we're not going to paint it this winter, but highly likely now, if that all goes through, then we'll probably end up taking the body back off and we'll paint it winter of 2026. So we're going to do some testing, get it on the road, and basically check whatever aero balance and whatever else that I can do, get some decent mapping done on the motor, and basically get it broken in and get some mileage under its belt. And then obviously I'll try some track days, but at this point now it's really just a test and tune, not really a full-on track. Yes, low boost stuff for the moment, and once I get a bit braver, once I've figured out how to really map that traction control, then maybe that'll be the next step. But yeah, so that's the Dragon. She's coming along leaps and bounds. The R8, we do have all the parts now to do the clutch finally. So that it looked like very much like the hydraulic release cylinder for the clutch was the item that was leaking. That basically destroyed all the plates. So that box is. Candy's cleaned it today. We cleaned it all up and pulled it off. Unfortunately, it looks like a one O-ring short, which is a pain, but she's gonna nail that together. This is obviously an e-gear car, not quite sure it is, but basically has a potentiometer on the clutch, so basically it electronically knows where the clutch is, because it's a single clutch, not a DCT. Yes, there's a bit more room in the workshop now. So yeah, this is the state of play at the moment, but there's not too many of the big jobs left, which is great. And so we still have the commissioning of all the CAN bus stuff to do, but until I'm basically water tested the cooling system, I'm not going to sit down and do that, because I need to get that done first. But yeah, we're not far off now. Reaction to the show was great. Generally always is whenever we've gone out there. Had a slightly better parking spot next to some friends this year, and yeah, I had lots of people just like, you know, just blown away, which is great, because that's kind of the reaction you want. Look at that rear wheel. I really need to do a four-wheel alignment on this thing. Since we did all the powder coating and I assembled the car back up, we haven't done a four-wheel alignment, so the wheels are pointing everywhere at the moment. But yeah, so there you go. I waffle on, but I thought I'd better do an update. It has been quite a while. Anyway, I'll speak to you all soon.